and they're all here for you. And 10 years ago, when you...
Some of them are here for John Barrowman.
Well... He's a likable guy, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now, 10 years ago, when you got your start, it was on
Queer as Folk.
Queer as Folk. That was it.
Yeah.
Did you imagine?
No. I was acting in Toronto, and I kind of think of my career when I was in Toronto, when I was acting in Canada. Although I met a Heartland fan today, that was really cool. Anyway, I think of that first part of my career kind of like high school, college, and then when I moved to Los Angeles and I got my first job, which was NCIS LA. They bring David Caruso's sunglasses and gun to him on like a royal pillow. Anyway, when I was in Toronto and I got that first job on Queer as Folk, it was as a spin instructor, and I was a spin instructor at the time. And I told my agent, if I can't get this job on Queer as Folk as a spin instructor, I am quitting the business. It worked out.
Just like all of you now to imagine him as your spin instructor. Now, we're going to let people start asking questions, and I'm sure there's a lot of Arrow questions, and I got to tell you, just me, because you're in our TV, in our living rooms all the time. It's like you're our friend. And I would want to say, as a friend, I'd say, Oliver, buddy. It's me, I'm the guy who lives downstairs. I just don't want to bother you, but I love you, and I love Felicity, okay? But you know this will not end well, and as a friend, I just gotta, please, is someone going to do that this season?
I mean, you know, I don't know. Well, I do know. But, boy, you know, if we don't take chances with our hearts, what are we even doing here?
Fair enough, all right. I won't try to talk you out of it. How much can you tell us about the new season? I know that...
Oh, man,
very soon.
I've seen 4 episodes from the new season. Now, when we film an episode, we film it, the editor does an assembly, and then the director does a cut. There's a cut for the studio, there's a cut for the network, and then there's a cut for all of you. And I almost always see the network cut, and it doesn't have color correction, it doesn't have the proper sound score. You never realize how important music is until you watch a show without it. I'll never forget watching the 3rd episode of our first season, and there was one sequence that I thought worked particularly well, and I realized that they put the Dark Knight score as temporary music for it. This is great music. This scene's really intense. What's going on?
They blow the budget?
But no, it ends up, you know, we end up putting our own music, and we have a wonderful composer, and I think we do some of the best music on TV. But thank you. But once you get past the network cut and into the studio cut, it's a little bit of a slippery slope, because you're used to the episode being 41 minutes. And the studio cut is usually around 44, 45, and it's even less special effects and sound and all that stuff. So the first time I saw a studio cut, I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. Relative to what I'm used to seeing. Last night, I watched the director's cut for episode 304, and it was awesome. It is our 50th episode. It is worthy of a 50th episode. And I tweeted this a couple of weeks ago. It has a scene and a confrontation in it that has literally been 2.5 years in the making. Yeah.
No spoilers. It's in his contract. Sorry. That's as much as he
I
can
give
show.
away way too much.
You did?
I do. You guys will trick me into something, and so everyone put their phones down. We'll have like a completely frank conversation about the entire episode.
You can do that, right?
You stop videoing. No, I'm kidding.
Right, all right. Over there. Here we go. What can you tell us? I mean, just
No, I can tell you a bunch. I can tell you that we have Katie Lotz coming back as Canary in our first episode.
like that.
We have Mr. Barrowman joining us as a regular this year. We have Ra's al Ghul. We do another fun travel episode where we go to Corto Maltese. That's exciting. And Oliver is in Hong Kong. That's also very interesting. And I recently got 4 days off out of an 8-day shoot, which is a record for me because, I swear to God, it's a record. Although I don't have another day off until January. The episode is titled The Secret Origin of Felicity Smoke. And Felicity's mom afforded me 4 days of vacation. It was lovely.
Now, I read this, and I hope it's not an internet rumor, that there is a crossover episode with The Flash coming.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 8 or something like that.
Spoiler alert. I'm in the pilot of The Flash, which is really exciting. And then we have another character that is crossing over in the 4th episode of The Flash. And then episode 108 of The Flash, 308 of Arrow are a big 2-night crossover extravaganza.
As a fan, I'll think of that as a mini Justice League movie.
Mini Justice League movie, sure.
That's how I'll think of myself.
Yeah.
Should we get some questions?
Let's do it.
Where do we want to start? Over here? You first?
Sure. Hi, Stephen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you're in Salt Lake. It's exciting. My question is, as an actor, well, Oliver's kind of a man whore.
Oliver's not kind of a man.
He's not anymore.
No, Oliver's like Lord Varys this year. It's terrible.
So my question is, as an actor,
I'm glad people got that joke.
is it more awkward to film those scenes, those kissing scenes,
Sure.
with someone you first met, or with someone that you've known for a while, like Katie or
my first regular job in the business was a hoe. Right? Was a hooker on Hung. You saw a little bit of footage in that cool video package. I like that. That was cool. So I guess the point is that after playing a hooker, everything else is relatively easy. But it does get a little bit funny, and I feel like I have a good trick for it. Like, especially if you're kissing somebody that you've known for a long time. When you're in rehearsals, the first time you have to kiss them really passionately, but on the nose. It sort of cuts the tension. Good question.
Thank you. How about over here this time?
Hi, I wanted to ask 2 questions. The first is, have you ever been injured on the set? And the second is, how do you prepare for those darker scenes where somebody's dying or somebody's getting injured and hurt, and you just have to be that emotional, darker side of yourself?
As far as injuries go, I've been very fortunate. Knock on wood. I bashed my calf hard in the first season in episode 10, and it blew up. And I was wearing a high sock, which acted almost like a tourniquet. So all the swelling bubbled up. And I took a picture of it before I went to bed. Big day on set today, look at my leg, isn't it terrible? And I woke up next morning to 9 missed calls from my mom. Why didn't you go to the hospital? Do you have a blood clot? Do you need a doctor? I can be in Vancouver. By the way, she's on the other coast of Canada in like 30 minutes. Mom, it's fine. It looks way worse than it is. And I pinched a nerve in my back last year. Oh God. And that was really painful. But as far as injuries go, no, I've been very fortunate so far. But fortunate because of how prepared we are and how safe the stunt team makes things for me. As for the emotional scenes, as an actor, it's not my method. I don't really have a method in general, if you've heard of that expression, to use experiences from my own life. In the instances of major characters that we've had die on the show, oftentimes it's me being sad that I'm losing a friend. And I mean someone to hang around with on set. That was the case with Colin Donnell. It was the case with Susanna Thompson. It's sad because you spend time with these people, and you know you get the news. I certainly don't want to compare it to someone getting a bad diagnosis, but it's been 2 consecutive years that I've got a phone call from the producers saying we're killing, and I'm like, oh, really? Are we sure? But then the evil creative side of me goes, oh, that's going to provide so much story. But that's another thing too, is we always have flashbacks, and we get my good friend Colin Donnell, Mr. Tommy Merlin, back in the flashback this year. We like the character. Over here.
I just want to thank you for actually being so active on social media. I really appreciate it. I really like the workout, the training videos you posted, because that actually motivated me to go get a gym membership.
Cool.
And I'm still fat, but I've lost like 15 pounds so far the last couple of months. Thank you. My question for you was, what was the audition process like to get Arrow? Did you have some creative freedom to kind of discover and create Oliver Queen? Or did the showrunners have a vision and you kind of had to fit into that?
You know, you're never right for a part until you're perfect for it. You know who, any Lost fans here? So Josh Holloway could never get a part on TV. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. Like I remember reading, like he would get close on parts and they'd be like, well, you just, you're not really the type for it. And then he gets the part of Sawyer on Lost. He's a breakout star, and the next pilot season, every single freaking breakdown says Josh Holloway type. So, to answer your question, Hung had just got canceled. I was working on Private Practice, which was an amazing experience. And the breakdown for Arrow came out, and my cousin Robbie, who is playing Firestorm on The Flash, that's exciting, says, have you read Arrow? I said, I don't even know what that is. And he said, look, it's a story, it's an origin story of the Green Arrow. And I said, okay. And he said, and the guy's supposed to be late 20s, and I'm right around that range. And the fact that I read the pilot script and I couldn't picture me, I could only picture you, is a really good sign. So I went in, David Nutter, who directed our pilot, Jeff Johns, Greg Berlanti, Andrew Kreisberg, Mark Guggenheim. When I walked in, I was the first guy to audition. I read, what scenes did I read? I read the scene from the pilot where Oliver is being tortured by the 3 dudes. And then there was a much longer scene, which I'm really hoping the audition we're able to put it out on the interwebs someday, where I tell the 3 guys how I'm gonna kill them. And I read it, and I finish, and I look up, and everybody's just staring at me. There were 5 people in the room. They said, can you please go outside? I went outside. I come back in 5 minutes later, there's like 31 people in the room. Now there were other steps to go through, but I got the part right there. So you just never know. If you're an actor out there and you're having a difficult time, if you haven't found the part for you, it really never happens until it just happens so swiftly that you're just going, what the hell happened? So if that's you right now, you keep the faith and keep working hard. Thanks, man.
Over here.
My name is Blaine Cook, and my question is this. When you accepted the role in Arrow, how did you train for that role, particularly in hand-to-hand combat and archery?
They sent me to a gentleman in Los Angeles, and we just did basic martial arts training. They sent me on to Tempest Free Running Academy to a guy named Paul Didi Darnell, and he taught me all the parkour stuff. And then when I got to Vancouver, I sat down with Patricia Gonsalves, who's my archery coach, and we got right into that. And then, shortly thereafter, I met James Bamford, who's our fight choreographer. He's our stunt coordinator, or one of our stunt coordinators. And we immediately began working on all 3 fights in the pilot. Those were choreographed and ready to go 6 weeks before we started shooting. And the first one that I learned was the one where I pull a chair out from underneath me and I bash it in the guy's face. And in terms of like specific martial arts, I really do think that a martial art is fighting on screen, because you want to look like you're punching somebody without actually punching them, which, by the way, is one of the most painful things that you can do, because when you punch somebody, your hand is supposed to hit something. So you don't hit anything, and all this, because you punch as hard as you can, and all this blood rushes into your hand. So if you ever see me after a take, if they ever ran like B-roll and showed me, I'm just standing there like, oh God. It hurts. It's like, it's crazy. So that's what I did. Thanks, man.
All right. Is there a...
Are you wearing a pink cast?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta rock the pink.
Got a boy.
So, is there a DC hero you would love to work with in Arrow, and is there a DC villain you would love to have Oliver face against?
Oh boy. Well,
Please say Gorilla Grodd, please.
pardon me?
Gorilla Grodd, please.
You know, I start to latch on to the Easter eggs on the show. So for me, a DC hero, I've said Ferris Air so many frickin' times that I want Green Lantern to come on the show. As for a villain, I'm not gonna pick, because I like to be surprised. Do you know what I like? You know, I always thought, you know, looking back to our 16th episode in season 1, when I saved John Barrowman's life, you're welcome. and he's talking about Nanda Parbat meeting a man there, and I read it and I went, oh, I hope so. And so I see the little nuggets that we're dropping now, and there are villains that I like, but I'm gonna leave that for my surprise and yours.
Hi, my name is Alicia, and I'm going to apologize at first. I'm actually a really nervous fast talker.
Okay.
So if you need me to slow down, I'll do it. But I was wondering, since the Green Arrow isn't a huge character, not a lot of people know him, if you could have picked any other, Marvel, DC, any other superhero to play, which one would you have picked and why?
Iron Man.
Why?
Because of all, first of all, I recently watched The Winter Soldier. Woo! Awesome. Like really awesome. Like really awesome. I have a man crush on Anthony McKay, I think. That dude is just... Anyway, let me keep going. I love, of all the superhero movies that have come out, post 2000, the Dark Knight trilogy, the Man of Steel, the entire Marvel experience that we've had. What's it, like Phase 1, Phase 2, that's what it's called? Yes? Thank you. There is no better moment than the end of Iron Man 1 when Tony Stark stands up and says, "I am Iron Man." And I swear to God, I would give an episodic fee to have, well actually no I wouldn't, but I would love, if there was just a moment where Oliver Queen was standing in front of a bunch of people and said, "I'm the Arrow, what the hell are you gonna do about it?" Oh yeah. Although hopefully he would say, "I'm the Green Arrow."
I want him to say yeah.
We need a little bit more green in the show.
How about over here now? You.
Okay, I have two questions for you.
All right.
Okay, so the first one is, what's the deal with you and Felicity? The second one is, could you like stand right there so I can get a picture?
What's the deal with Felicity and I? I'm gonna walk over and start telling you. You ready? Is camera ready? Oh, hurry up. Give that guy your camera right there. Give that guy your camera. Come on, let's see. Let's go. Now that I've been nice to you, the deal with me and Felicity is none of your goddamn business.
I'd say you handled that well. Right over here.
Hi, my name is Elise. So my question is, I've seen some of your other panels, and I noticed you give away some things about season 3. And I was wondering if you guys as actors of Arrow get together and decide what you can tell, or if things just slip on accident.
I have developed a really good relationship with the producers, I think, and a really good understanding of what I can say, what I can't say. And if I'm ever on the fence, I email somebody and I say, can I say this? But I'll tell you though, if I ran the show, if I ran a television show, I would give away nothing. I wouldn't even put out a review. I would, as soon as I knew that people were into the show, I would be like crazy, secretive, super awkward, weird showrunner person. Which is my favorite type of showrunner. But no, has there ever been a moment? I'll tell you, recently there was a moment where I saw an image from our premiere this year, and I thought that the premiere had leaked, and I freaked out. I was like, it felt like, I just like something in the pit of my stomach, just awful. And it turns out it was just a preview that they were putting up on the show.
But you've never slipped up.
No, I don't think that I have ever slipped up. I don't think so. I probably have. Maybe I did, but they're afraid to tell me. That's what I hope. I hope they're like, damn it, Amell messed up again. He can't do anything though, he's the Arrow. God damn it.
Right over here.
So if you were to ask my wife or some of my coworkers in the audience, I have a terribly unhealthy man crush on him.
There's nothing wrong with a good man crush.
And as much as I admire the show and your acting, which I think is fantastic, it's what you do off screen that I most respect you for. You raised $100,000 for Sophie.
Yeah.
You're also doing doing the same for JoJo.
Yeah.
You're trying to raise money, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, what is it that drives you to use your celebrity to do such good?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. For starters, I'm like a kid with a new toy. Does that make sense? And I mean that. I mean that sincerely. The ability to have something at the tip of my fingers that can reach so many people, and I'm constantly a believer that, you know, people and large groups of people can be exceptional. For the raffle that we did for Sophie, the raffle on its own raised $91,000. The majority of those donations came from people giving $5. And everybody would write the same thing. Boy, I wish I could give more. And I wanted to write back to every single person, and I said, no, what you just did was perfect. Because I got to hang out with that family a couple of weeks ago, and to see the difference in their condition, their human condition, from when I first met them back in May to now, it's astounding. So I don't know how far we can take the charity, but much like how I prefer to run my own Facebook page and to control my own method, you know, as opposed to just, you know, as opposed to going the corporate route and finding a charity and not knowing where the money is going, you know, here we have this opportunity where, you know, JoJo's family, last night, I just happened upon a season 2 Blu-ray. I thought this would be a great idea, because I was actually signing some other ones for charity. So we put it up there. Gonna ship it out on Tuesday, and, you know, less than 24 hours later, it's raised $20,000. So, to answer your question, I just love it, man. It makes me feel good. So I guess that's the selfish aspect of it. But if you can help people, you absolutely should.
Over here.
So on Facebook, you're constantly posting videos of you doing your parkour training and arrow shooting. I was wondering, how much of that did you actually do before Arrow, and did any of that get you the job?
To the second part of your question, no. I never took my shirt off in an audition. I was never, you know, they never said to me, we want this from you, physically. And in respect to the parkour, you know, growing up in, I grew up in Toronto, and I played football, I played rugby, I swam, I played volleyball. I loved sports, track and field. I used to do high jump. True story. And then a bunch of guys who were less talented than me, but 6'7", were beating me, and I stopped. And I'm not bitter. And so, you know, I was staying in shape. I was in LA. I was hiking all the time, but I wasn't going to the gym. I wasn't, you know, I was just staying active, because my body is my instrument in the vocation that I chose. And I happened upon Arrow, and now I get to do all these cool things. The only problem is that I'm relatively demonstrative on set when it comes to doing my own stunts. And especially stuff with heights, I'm a little bit frightened. And I'll always say, well, no, of course I'm gonna do this, and if they won't let me do it, I'll demand to do it shirtless, because then it has to be me. But then I'll get 60 feet in the air, about to swing down and sweep Felicity off of a landmine, and I'll be trying to look cool while really peeing a little bit in my pants. So, in the end, it's all worth it. Thanks, man.
Shirtless rooftop lurking. That's what I'm over here.
Two questions. One, how does it feel that every superhero show that's out now is like we got to set our bar up this high because, hey, Arrow, you don't do it like this. You got to do it like Arrow does and do it like that.
Can I be honest? It feels freaking fantastic. Because I remember in 2012 when people watched the pilot of Arrow and they said, yeah, great pilot, but as we know, superhero shows don't typically work on television. And now all we have Flash, we have Gotham, we have Constantine, iZombie, like we have, Netflix is doing all this stuff with Marvel, there's Agent Carter, there's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, boom.
And also, I told one of my supervisors at work that I get a picture with shaking your hand. Is that cool?
Yeah, man. Sure. You're the last one, though. All right, let's do it. So many questions. Come on up, brother. Nice to meet you, man.
If you want to meet Steve, he's going to be here the rest of the day, so you can go over here.
I'll be here. All right.
Over here.
Hi. First off, I'm a super big fan, so hi.
Really?
Yeah, no way, right?
Could have fooled me with
Okay, so my friends are trying to get me to watch Arrow, and I'm like, no, I hate Arrow. I can't handle it. It's against my religion. But then I saw the TV show, and I'm in love. So, convert. But I just couldn't handle it at first.
Well, I'm glad you're willing to admit your mistake.
Okay, so I had a question about, because you're kind of a new actor to me. I've never seen you before. And so I just wanted to know what got you into acting. Were you a high school drama geek or?
Yeah, 10th grade, I was in a play called Inherit the Wind. I love that book. I love it. And, but I was just a side person in the play. I don't think I had any lines. And the only reason I did it was because we got to go on a trip and I wanted to meet girls. I was in 10th grade. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then the drama teacher, William Schooler, at my high school, who I'm still in touch with, still very good friends with, came up to me, said, you have very good focus and you are going to play Malcolm in Macbeth next fall. Huh? And I did. And that was that.
My friend Abby here is so in love with you that she's afraid to ask, but she wants a hug, and I was wondering if you could give it to her.
I will give her a hug at the end of the panel. Stick around, Abby, stick around. Because unlike you, she's dressed in the right brand.
Yeah.
How you doing, sir? I was wondering if there was a Justice League movie. Would you want to be in it, and what do you think the chances of being in it are?
I don't think that logistics are going to make it possible for the television universe and the cinematic universe to coexist. We shoot for 10 months out of the year, literally 10 months. And boy, I'm just thinking about how difficult it's going to be for when we do the crossover episodes with The Flash, the logistics of that. Sure, I'd like to be in it. Absolutely. Hawkeye can be in the Avengers, and Green Arrow can be in the Justice League. But listen, we aren't, and I've said this before, and I'm repeating myself, and I'm going to say it again. We aren't playing the television versions of Green Arrow and Black Canary and Flash and Firestorm and Arsenal on down the line. Oh yeah, Arsenal. We're playing the versions. We're trying to play the definitive versions as they exist right now. And we don't need the movies to justify our television show. But boy, as a fan, I really, really hope that Dawn of Justice is good. Really hope. And I think it will be.
There
she is. Oh, it's you.
Hi, Stephen. Well, despite what I am wearing, I'm a huge Green Arrow fan. Green Arrow has always been one of my favorites. And my question is, physicality aside, what did you do to prepare to make Oliver Queen / Green Arrow like your own? What did you do research-wise or whatever to bring him to life?
This is going to make sense. Nothing. I trusted the material in the pilot. I trusted the people that wrote it. And most importantly, David Nutter is the greatest / most prolific director of pilots in the history of television. He's taken 18 shows to series out of 19 pilots that he's done. You know, including Arrow, Flash, Supernatural, The Sarah Connor Chronicles, Dark Angel. Dude directed the Red Wedding for the Game of Thrones. He's a legend. And when David Nutter tells you to do something, you just nod your head and say, yes, sir, and do it. And trust. And I swear to God, the first scene that we ever shot was the scene, my audition scene, where Oliver is being, you know, stunned by the guys, and then he's gonna beat them up. And he turned to me, first day of shooting, and he said, when you look up, when you look up, and when these guys see this in your eyes, I want you to make the look up, I want it to feel like you're just crawling up, like snail pace. And make sure that we see your eyes first. Because when we put out the trailer for this pilot, this is gonna be one of the iconic images. And I swear to God it was. How could he know that? He's a wizard. So, after the pilot, I familiarized myself with Oliver Queen and Green Arrow and the canon, and I'm very respectful of the fact that this is a character that has been around since November of 1940. And I meet people all the time that have spent their entire lives reading Green Arrow. So to be a modern interpretation and to hopefully live up to what they have experienced along the way, it's very important to me.
Over here, sir. Well, excuse him. So my question with Firestorm appearing on Flash, the Atom, Black Canary.
Oh, the Atom too. Yes. Sorry, we have so many superheroes that I forget sometimes.
So when are you guys just going to get ahead of the movie and do your own Justice League?
I don't know, like episode 8. I'm dead serious, by the way. You know, DC is our partner, and they haven't said no, pump the brakes, because theoretically in 4 years we're gonna have a Justice League movie. Nope, they are asking us to plow ahead, and I'm fired up. We will. There you go.
So the majority of the people up here have already stolen some of my questions. So first off, with the injury thing, I had heard online that you were doing a stun sequence with John Barrowman, and he hit you in the knee with steel toe boots.
Ooh, sure. Totally true.
And
it's the scene in episode 9 of season 1 where Malcolm, we don't know it's Malcolm yet, is just beating me senseless. And he's kicking me while he's on the ground. And it was John's first night in the costume, and the costume is incredibly claustrophobic, and he doesn't have peripheral vision, and he can't really see down, and boy oh boy, he kicked me as hard as he possibly could. And I felt bad because of how bad he felt. Anyway, if you see him, tell him it still hurts, okay?
Actually, give my question here.
Sure.
And then I was going to ask for a hug, but I'll get that from the photo op later.
Sure, cool, man.
And just for the fans out here and everything like that, could you quickly go through your voiceover for the opening sequence of Arrow?
I kind of feel like we need some mood lighting or something.
I've been meaning to learn this properly. I recorded it at the beginning of season 1, in the beginning of season 2, and I know there's a new one for season 3, so you're just gonna get a mix mash thingamajig. Here we go. I hate you. Oh, look at this. This is nice. This is nice. My name is Oliver Queen. For 5 years, I was stranded on an island with only one goal: survive. Now I am returning. To save my city. I feel bad. I'm ruined. Somebody help me. Someone give me the lyrics. I need to know this. I'm so ashamed. Tell you what. What? Oh! Let's do this. I can't be the killer I once was. To honor my friend's memory, I must be something else. I must be someone else. Previously on Arrow. Tell you what, somebody is going to see this, and the next panel that I'm at, I swear to God, I'm going to learn the intro from the pilot, the big long voiceover that sort of carried us all the way through, that ends with, "My name is Oliver Queen." I'm going to learn that. I'm going to nail it. Hey.
So, someone already asked the question that I was going to ask, so I came up with a new one right now.
Okay.
When you
can just continue to stand there and look good if you wanted to.
When you first found out all your, like, when you were doing the reading at the table and you saw all your cast, did you recognize anybody and, like, have a geek out moment?
Oh, for sure. That happens all the time. Paul Blackthorne was my favorite villain on 24. Season 3 of 24 is my favorite. Paul Blackthorne? Really? Really? Jamie Sheridan was the VP in Homeland, which was a show that I was watching at the time. My first American job was almost Melrose Place, so I knew Katie Cassidy really well, and I also knew her as possibly the only person that Liam Neeson hasn't been able to save in the past 15 years. I was a big fan of the OC and Will Holland. She doesn't know that, but it's true. And, oh my goodness, Roger Cross. Jack shot Roger Cross on 20. I was a big 24 fan, you know what I mean? So, this year not so much, but that doesn't matter. This does happen all the time, where we get people come on the show, and I'm fans of theirs. The coolest moment out of all of those was myself and Liam McIntyre were the last two people in the audition process to take over the role of Spartacus that Andy Whitfield passed on. And I got to do a scene with Manu as Spartacus and him as Fritzes. So when they cast him as Slade Wilson, and the first time that we saw each other in the makeup trailer, we were just like, "It's too weird, man. It's too weird." But I'm always going to be a fan of the people that we have on the show. It's really fun having cool guest stars. That's great. It's a good question. There you go. Right on the spot. Good for you.
I'm being told we have time for one more. I'm sorry.
We have two more because we have Roy over there.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Hi, my name is Kim.
Hey, Kim.
And my question was, were there any kind of crazy pranks on set? And if so, which one was your favorite?
Any crazy pranks on set? Well, I am working with John Barrowman this year. Boy, oh boy. There haven't been crazy pranks so much as we were 5 or 6 episodes in. I'd been working with David Ramsey a lot. He and I had become friends, but just sort of, I'd been working so much that we hadn't really got a chance to know each other other than being, friendly. And he had to come up as Diggle and whisper something into my ear. And he said the dirtiest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. By the way, he's not even on camera, okay? It's close up on me. He says this to me, and I go. And from then on, it was on. It's been on since then. If he messes up one of his lines, I almost pee my pants. I get so excited. Thank you. All right.
Hi, I was just wondering, easier than his, just say the catchphrase of yours to end this, I guess, would be the best way.
The what?
Catchphrase, Fail the City.
Oh, what's your name?
Phil.
Phil. You have failed this city. If you were standing in line to ask a question that we didn't get to, you guys just come on up on stage real fast and take a quick photo for everybody out here.